What's up, y'all? Welcome back to 62 Beer Reviews. Today we're checking out some more Bourbon County 2025. This is the double barrel for this year. Awesome packaging, as always. Goose Island out of Chicago, Illinois. We got a lot to kind of unpack here, so we'll get into it. I love all the packaging with these reserves. Double barrels, rares, whatever you want to call them. All of these spectacular packaging. So, got a lot of info on here. I'm going to read it all because you know what? With how much we paid for this, I'm going to get all I can out of it. So, skip forward if you want, but we'll dive on in. Perfectly aged 2025, ever evolving, brewed, barrel aged, and bottled by Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago, Illinois. Double barrel aged in 7-year-old bourbon barrels from Heaven Hill. I believe specifically the Heaven Hill Bottled-in-Bond barrels. So let's see, aged 1 year in Heaven Hill Bottled-in-Bond bourbon barrels, then in another set of these same exact barrels. So I don't think they've ever done that before, where they just put them in a new set, fresh after a year of the same barrels that they had them sitting in, which is very cool. So I think very interesting, very excited to check this out, to say the least. So Heaven Hill is out of Bardstown, Kentucky, pretty close to me actually. So take this off. Got some more info on here. So we'll dive in. A little story time. Heaven Hill Bottled-in-Bond Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. On March 3rd, 1897, the Bottled-in-Bond Act was signed into law, serving as a guarantee of quality in American whiskey by setting strict standards for origin, distilling, aging, and labeling. With its rigorous criteria, it became a way for distilleries to communicate a commitment to excellence and a promise of craftsmanship. It was with that same promise and the values it upheld that Heaven Hill Distillery filled their first barrel in December 1935. After patiently waiting for 4 years before releasing their first bottled-in-bond whiskey, they launched their namesake bourbon in 1939 and established their legacy as the country's premier bottled-in-bond whiskey maker. Today, carrying forward that historic whiskey tradition, Heaven Hill Bottled-in-Bond Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey stands a class above. Aged a full 3 years beyond the required 4, this fully mature 7-year bourbon is a stunning example of how patience can unlock layers of complexity, richness, and balance. It's this shared dedication to craft that brings Goose Island and Heaven Hill together, uniting rich American whiskey tradition with an enduring brewing legacy in the creation of the 2025 Bourbon County brand Double Barrel Stout. The bourbon and the barrels, it says right below that, and now we dive into the actual beer part of it. So, as the creators of the world's first bourbon barrel aged stout, the brewers at Goose Island have spent over 30 years redefining what beer can be with Bourbon County brand stout. Over time, our releases have evolved into a full family, each telling its own story and perspective. As our stout ages, it develops a myriad of characteristics, distinct, layered, and infinitely complex. Drawing on decades of experience, our brewers have learned how to elevate and amplify those expressions by pulling different levers to shape the final result, whether it's the addition of a specific ingredient, an extended aging period, or the use of a particular barrel and process. Each element reveals a different facet of our original Bourbon County brand stout. The 2025 Bourbon County brand Double Barrel Stout is a masterclass in just that. Working with our friends at Heaven Hill Distillery, our brewers aged this stout in not one, but 2 sets of freshly emptied Heaven Hill Bottled-in-Bond bourbon barrels, centering the beautifully complex qualities found in that whiskey. The resulting beer is a true celebration of bourbon, collaboration, and the most foundational element of every Bourbon County release, the barrel itself. The originators since 1992. I think that is about it. Let's dive into the review. So as we're doing this, well, you know what? Let's see. I don't think they're putting any like details or um, like their tasting notes on the bottles this year. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. But this was bottled on August 22nd, 2025. 17.4%. Probably the highest ABV Bourbon County that I've had to date. So I love the colorway and everything for this. As always, I mean, just the bottle itself is spectacular. I love it. It's Bourbon County. Gotta love it. So, yeah, I think that's about it. We'll dive in, crack it open. So, if y'all follow the channel at all, I was actually up in Vermont for Black Friday this year. I wasn't expecting this to find this when I got back home. Vermont, typically, every place I've been when I'm up there on Black Friday, I've never seen any Bourbon County. I don't know what it is, but um, we were off doing other things on Black Friday this year. And I was not expecting to get any this year. So I was pretty stoked when I saw this almost a week later in my area. So had to pick it up, and here we are. Get into the glass. Do something like that. I can smell that thing already. Um, so we reviewed Original, the base this year, and I really loved it. Really loved it. Obviously, you know, I didn't review anything from 2024. I heard okay things about it compared to previous years. Heard it wasn't the best, so kind of glad that I didn't pick up any last year's. But I thoroughly enjoyed the base from this year, so I'm looking forward to this one. It looks like Bourbon County. It's got I don't know if different bottle, so we poured it a little more aggressively than the last, I think. So a little bit more head to it. Um, but yeah, I mean, it looks like Bourbon County. Like I said, as soon as I poured it, I could smell it immediately. Looks nice. So it didn't pour like super, super thick. We'll see. Um, also, being aged 2 years, I'm assuming this is a different base than the base from this year. Not sure. So let's check out the aroma. It smells nice. That smells really nice. 17.4%. I honestly, I was expecting very, very like heavy bourbon forward or like a little bit boozy. It's not. It's not overly boozy. But then again, I do drink whiskey every now and then, so it may smell boozier to you than it does to me. It smells nice though. There's this like rich meatiness to it. Yeah, like just a meaty quality. I mentioned I got a lot of dark fruits with the base, like very like dark cherry forward. Um, the bourbon came through. This is it's meaty. It's very meaty. Kind of thinking like like red wine, right? Like Cabernet Sauvignon, those like richer red wines that you want to drink alongside a steak or something. This is what I imagine. Like if you're going to drink a beer along with a steak, this is what I want to drink. It's just it does. It has this rich meatiness to it. There are some dark fruits in there too. That tobacco note that I picked up on the base. Some plum, prune. Very different from some other of these like reserve stouts that I've had, like the Eagle Rare one that we reviewed 2 years ago. This smells very different from that one to me. Yeah, very meaty. That's crazy. There's something else going on here too. It's like a little bit of like earthiness. like there's a little bit of chocolate, but it's like this, like cacao, cocoa nib kind of chocolate. There's not too much like sweetness to this at all. Smells nice. So let's check it out. Cheers, y'all. Definitely drinks like a big beer. So I will note, I didn't even refrigerate this. I've had this just sitting on my bar. So where we do reviews down here, this used to be a garage. We kind of turned it into a den. And I mean, in the wintertime, I mean, it's about 14 degrees out right now. So if I had to guess, it's around like 58, 59, maybe 60 degrees in here. I just kind of kept it at that. This is my cellar basically. So didn't even put this in the fridge. That's what I'm drinking this at, as I do most of Imperial Stouts that I review. That rich meatiness comes through on the taste. Yeah, there's like, I get a lot of like similarities to like red wine, like a just these rich dark fruits, they mixed with red fruits. This is not a sweet beer by any means. I'm not getting like too much vanilla, too much caramel. This is like very like fruit forward to me, which is very different compared to just other bourbon counties that I've had. It's kind of cool. Definitely, um, you can tell this is a bigger beer for sure as you're drinking it. A little bit of warmth as it's going down. Not overly crazy, but like I said, I drink whiskey straight every now and then, so it might drink a little bit bigger to you. Um, this is good. It's not. I don't want to be that guy, right? But for the price point of this thing, it's not like it. If I saw this next to another 4 pack of the base, I'd pick up the base over this. That's just me. That's just me. With the price point and just how much I loved the base, um, I don't know. I enjoy this. I just don't think it's worth the price that it's at. That this thing is at. I love the packaging. Like I said, I love everything about this. I love the double barrel. Very cool experiment. There's just something about it. I just, and I don't want to be that guy to compare breweries, right? But we just got back from a trip from Hill Farmstead in Vermont, and I picked up their 15th anniversary stout that they released. Um, that beer was half the price of what I paid for this. So I don't even want to talk about how much I paid for this. I think it's getting kind of ridiculous if I'm being honest. Um, I mean, these are special beers. I want them to be special, but at the same time, I want to be able to pick up multiples of these, and I'm probably not going to pick up another one of these. I would love to see how this ages. I think it would age well, but the price point that I picked this up for, I'm probably not going to pick up another one, which is unfortunate. It's just one of those things. I want to have multiples of these. I want to, but I can't afford it. I mean, if you can, good for you, man. Pick them up, age them. Let me know what you think. But I can't do it, especially with the amount of beers I review, try to get through. I can't do it. But happy I saw this. I'm happy to try this right now. It's just that price point is kind of ridiculous, if I'm being honest. I do enjoy it, but I also just think the body is just a little bit thin. It honestly, it might be a little bit thinner than the base. I would have to try them side by side just to test it out. But had the base last weekend, so we're having this relatively fresh to that. It's a little bit thinner than that, just based off what I'm thinking, what I remember. Um, which I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It's a nice stout, you know. I recommend it. If you find it, yeah, pick it up, try it out. But I think, I don't know. I'll just say it again. I love the base this year. If I saw these two next to each other, I'd pick up the base, 100%. Especially with the new four pack format. I love that format. Um, I don't know. It is what it is. I'll stop ranting. See if we pick up anything else in this thing. I do enjoy the like dark fruits that come through in this thing. Tons and tons and just it really does remind me of like, I drink red wine every now and then, especially around the holidays. My mom drinks wine. I'll drink some with her every now and then. It does. It gives me just wine vibes with the notes that come out of this thing. So if you're a wine drinker, I think you'd really enjoy this. Um, if you're a bourbon drinker, I think you would enjoy this because that higher ABV kind of reminds you of that bourbon, that whiskey, um, that just overall body and mouthfeel and the amount of bourbon that comes through in this thing for sure, 100%. The one thing I did want to note too, obviously they come out with this one and then the Parker's Heritage this year. Parker's Heritage, I've yet to find any. Obviously, it makes sense to me, especially being in Nashville, huge bourbon city. So it makes sense that people go after a more sought after bourbon, a stout, Parker's Heritage, aged in Parker's Heritage barrels. But I think if you are a bourbon drinker, I think you'd like this a little more than the Parker's Heritage. Like I said, I haven't had that one. Maybe I'm wrong, but just being a bourbon drinker, I think you'd really enjoy this. So I can still find this. I can still find this on shelves here. I'm very surprised that I can, but um, if you're a bourbon drinker, I think you'd really enjoy this one. So seek this out for sure. So I think that's all I got. Overall, I enjoyed this beer. Didn't love it as much as I wanted it to, but it is what it is. It happens. So if you've had this one, let me know what you thought. This is relatively fresh when it came out, so would love to see if anybody has cracked open their bottle yet. So please let me know down in the comments. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Cheers.